Jakarta carried the weariness of a long day. Rain had been pouring since the afternoon, turning the streets into cracked mirrors reflecting the city lights. In a quiet corner of Kemang, a small bar named Luder looked warm from the outside. Its dim lights, classic modern interior, and soft jazz music gave it a cozy charm. Raka sat in the farthest corner. His laptop was open, the cursor blinking, waiting for words that never came. It had been 3 months since he last wrote a single page. Writing used to be his escape, his way of saying what he couldn't say aloud. But ever since Dura left without a word, everything that once flowed freely now felt frozen. Whiskey dry. A soft voice pulled him out of his thoughts. A woman stood before him, wearing a black shirt with sleeves rolled up. Her hair was tied loosely, and her eyes were sharp, like they could read his mind. "You look like someone carrying a broken story," Raka said with a faint smile. "You look like someone who lost something you can't rewrite," she replied, placing the glass beside his laptop. "And you could tell that just by looking at me. I'm a bartender. I read emotions for a living." Raka chuckled. It felt like letting go of a breath he didn't know he was holding. He looked at her more closely. There was something calm in her presence, something that made the storm outside feel a little less cold. "I'm Raka," he finally said. "Lana," she replied simply. After that night, Raka kept coming back to Luder. Sometimes with his laptop, sometimes just with a notebook. But it wasn't the writing he was chasing. It was Lana, the way she poured drinks, listened to music, and sometimes stared out the window as if her thoughts were miles away. Their bond grew slowly, no rush, like raindrops gently softening hard earth. They never talked about the past, but they both knew, each carried wounds too deep to display. One night, the bar was empty. The rain outside was heavier than usual, like it was trying to block out the world. "Why are you still here?" Lana asked while drying the last glass. "Because tonight, it feels like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be," Raka said. Lana paused. Her eyes held his for a long moment. Then she played a Nina Simone track and flipped the "open" sign on the door to "closed." Without a word, she reached out her hand. "Come with me," she said. They walked upstairs to Lana's apartment above the bar. A small room filled with bookshelves, half-finished paintings, and the faint scent of vanilla. Raka stood by the window, watching the rain. Lana came up behind him and gently placed her hand on his back. "Sometimes, people don't come to stay. They come just to remind us how to feel alive again," she whispered. Raka turned around. There were no words for what he felt, only a gaze that spoke more than any sentence could. They moved closer, searching for warmth in each other, trying to quiet the storms not only outside, but within. Their first kiss was tender. Slow, but deep, like two souls finally finding a moment of peace. They stripped away not just clothes, but the armor they'd been wearing for years. That night, they didn't make love to forget. They did it to remember what it meant to be touched without fear. Morning arrived gently. The air still smelled like rain, but it felt warmer somehow. Raka woke up first, watching Lana sleep with her hair messy and her face soft. For the first time in a long time, he felt like staying. Lana opened her eyes. "You're still here. If I leave now, I'll regret it for the rest of my life." She smiled and pointed to her writing desk. "There's a poem over there. I wrote it when I still believed in love." Raka read it. It was simple, honest, just like her. "You should be the one writing," he said. Lana pulled the blanket up and looked at him with eyes full of something unspoken. "But that night, you're the one who made me believe that broken things can become stories again." And Raka wrote once more. But this time, it wasn't about lost love. It was about love found, on a rainy night, in a little bar, from a woman named Lana he never looked for, but always needed.